Thank you for your time. My name is Betula, and this is Food for Thought. There's something I'd like to read to you. Always remember, you can be someone's reason to smile. Live life to be free of fear. Master yourself. Humanity, my favorite work of art. Breathe. It's okay. You're going to be okay. Just breathe. Breathe and remind yourself of all the times in the past that you felt this scared. All of the times you felt this anxious and this overwhelmed. All of the times you felt this level of pain. And remind yourself how each time you made it through. Life has thrown so much at you. And despite how difficult things have been, you've survived. Breathe and trust that you can survive this too. Trust that this struggle is part of the process. And trust that as long as you don't give up and keep pushing forward, no matter how hopeless things seem, you will make it. Daniell, Koepke. Life is hard and sharp, and it hurts. But there are some who wear it lightly and mindfully and with class, and are frank and yet wise and yet light. And if our recipe is right, our household shall be one of the hardy and cheerful ones. Life is often lonely, sad, and unfair. But if we are lucky, we shall work hard and earn our luck. And then we are hit broadside, we shall return fire as we sail away with the wind at our backs. And trouble shall find it. It is bored with us. Waylon Lewis. This is your life. Do what you love and do it often. If you don't like something, change it. If you don't like your job, quit. If you don't have enough time, stop watching television. If you're looking for love of your life, stop. They will be waiting for you when you start doing the things that you love. Stop overanalyzing. Life is simple. Live it to the best of your abilities. All emotions are beautiful. Don't treat them as all important. When you eat, appreciate every last bite. Open your mind, body, soul, and heart to new things, experiences, and people. We are strengthened in our differences, united in our shared humanity. Ask the next person you see what their passion is and share those inspirations and dreams with anyone who will listen. Travel often, locally, nationally, internationally. Getting lost will help you find yourself. Don't be afraid to wander. Some opportunities only come once. Seize them. Life is about the people you meet and the things you create with them. So go out and start creating. Life is short. When in doubt, break boundaries. Every person's greatness begins with themselves. You always have all you need within. All the qualities you require to be great already exist within. Realize them through discipline, effort, and thoughtfulness. Sarcasm, because beating the crap out of someone has legal consequences that are unappealing and nobody wants. The great man is colder, harder, less hesitating, and without fear of opinion. He lacks the virtues that accompany respect and respectability, and altogether everything that is the virtue of the herd. If he cannot lead, he goes alone. He knows he is incommunicable. He finds it tasteless to be familiar, and when not speaking to himself, he wears a mask. There's a solitude within him that is inaccessible to praise or blame. Friedrich Nietzsche. Our true nationality is mankind. H.G. Wells. The most difficult thing is to convince a human being that they are the most highly evolved being and should act like one. Fear is an emotional reaction to a perceived threat. Danger is an actual life-threatening event, action, or thing. Fear is a liar. Danger is real. Don't confuse the two. Courage is the decision not to act out of fear and confronting the actual danger to life and limb. History shows us that people who end up changing the world are always nuts until they're proven right, and then they are geniuses. John Eliot. In a consumer-based society, there are inevitably two kinds of slaves: the prisoners of addiction and the prisoners of envy. For me, it's far better to grasp the universe as it really is than to persist in delusion, however satisfying and reassuring it may be. Carl Sagan. You don't develop courage by being happy in your relationships every day. You develop it by surviving difficult times and challenging adversity. Epicurus. I find myself drawn to people who are smart, funny, and a little perverted. If it comes, let it. If it goes, let it. You were born to light up the world. How to be happy. Coffee. Do everything with a mind that lets go. Do not expect any praise or reward. If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will know complete peace and freedom. Your struggles with the world will have come to an end. Ajahn Chah. If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people they do not want to hear. George Orwell. You must unlearn what you have been programmed to believe since birth. That software no longer serves you if you want to live in a world where all things are possible. Jacqueline E. Purcell. Nothing in this world is permanent, and we're foolish when we ask anything to last. But surely we're still more foolish not to take delight in it while we have it. W. Somerset Maugham. To understand the heart and mind of a person, look not at what he has already achieved, but at what he aspires to. Khalil Gibran. We don't rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. Archelaus. Great thoughts speak only to the thoughtful mind, but great actions speak to all mankind. Theodore Roosevelt. The greatest challenge facing mankind is the challenge of distinguishing reality from fantasy, truth from propaganda. Perceiving the truth has always been a challenge to mankind, but in the information age, it takes a special urgency and importance. Michael Crichton. We shall require a substantially new manner of thinking if mankind is to survive. Albert Einstein. The real great man is the man who makes every man feel great. Gilbert K. Chesterton. Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind. Albert Einstein. I'll tell you what freedom feels like. No fear. Nina Simone. I refuse to accept the view that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. Martin Luther King Jr. Few men are willing to brave the disapproval of their peers, the censure of their colleagues, the wrath of their society. Moral courage is a rare commodity than bravery in battle or great intelligence. Yet it is the one essential, vital quality for those who seek to change a world that yields most painfully to change. Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy. The surest defense against evil is extreme individualism, originality of thinking, and whimsicality. Even if you will, eccentricity. Joseph Broadside. Freedom is the will to be responsible to ourselves. Friedrich Nietzsche. Courage is the price that life exacts for granting peace. Amelia Earhart. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Edmund Burke. People are afraid of themselves, of their own reality, their feelings most of all. People talk about how great love is, but that's bullshit. Love hurts. Feelings are disturbing. People are taught that pain is evil and dangerous. How can they deal with love if they're afraid to feel? Pain is meant to wake us up. People try to hide their pain. but they're wrong. Pain is something to carry like a radio. You feel your strength in the experience of pain. It's all in how you carry it. That's what matters. Pain is a feeling. Your feelings are part of you, your own reality. If you feel ashamed of them and hide them, you're letting society destroy your reality. You should stand up for your right to feel your pain. Jim Morrison. When I despair, I remember that all through history, the way of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end, they always fall. Think of it, always. Mahatma Gandhi. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. I thought I had everything until I found you. Turquoise Omniac. At the time, we were all convinced that we had to speak, write, and publish as quickly as possible, and as much as possible, and that this was necessary for the good of mankind. Thousands of published and wrote in an effort to teach others, all while disclaiming and abusing one another, without taking note of the fact that we knew nothing, and that we did not know the answer to the simplest question of life, the question of what is right and what is wrong. We all went on talking without listening to one another. Leo Tolstoy. In science, it often happens that scientists say, you know that a really good argument, my position is mistaken, and then they would actually change their minds, and you never hear the old view from them again. They really do it. It doesn't happen as often as it should, because scientists are human, and change is something painful. But it happens every day. I cannot recall the last time something like that happened in politics or religion. Carl Sagan. To criticize a person for their race is manifestly irrational and ridiculous. But to criticize a religion, that is a right. That is a freedom. The freedom to criticize ideas, any ideas, even if they are sincerely held beliefs, is one of the most fundamental freedoms of society. A law which attempts to say you can criticize and ridicule ideas as long as they are not religious ideas is a very peculiar law indeed. It all points to the promotion of the idea and that there should be a right not to be offended. But in my view, the right to offend is far more important than any right not to be offended. The right to ridicule is far more important to society than any right to be ridiculed, because one is, in my view, represents openness and the other represents oppression. Rowan Atkinson. Life is a train of moods, like a string of beads, and as we pass through them, they prove to be many colored lenses which paint the world their own hue, and each shows only what lies in its focus. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Thank you for your time.